Today, it's CheckPoint, but we're in poking distance. This is ChillPoint. Hey everybody,
How you doing?
how's it going?
We're all on the same microphone, so we should all sound about the same level, right?
Maybe.
We know how we talk.
It's like roughly the same distance
yeah,
from us.
Yeah. Heather cannot join us today, which people might be wondering, but she could not join us today. But that's okay. She's doing okay.
Just very busy.
Yeah. Yeah. Holy Christ.
If we didn't keep creating all this content, then Heather wouldn't have to keep working on, setting it up and uploading it to YouTube. And
Exactly. Right.
it would be a lot simpler.
Yeah.
So everybody, how's it going? Welcome to ChillPoint. Now in person. This is not necessarily like all ChillPoints will be in person going forward.
Yeah.
But it worked out well today, so that's what we're gonna do.
It was kind of like, a lot of in-person stuff was being done with Desert Bus and with people talking to each other, and like yesterday with, CheckPoint and everything. It's kind of like, well, let's keep the streak going a little bit. We were already in the same room together. We can do this again, and, Heather even came in yesterday, and she edited CheckPoint in the moon base.
Ooh.
Like, that was a thing, so...
Let's so for those of you who don't know, this show is the show where we talk about CheckPoint, which is our gaming news show. Went up on our YouTube channel yesterday. Hope you checked it out. Otherwise, some of this won't make too much sense, but that's okay. And this is the show where we talk about what we talked about on that show, give you a little more background info, and talk about some of the stories that we didn't talk about on that show.
Mm-hmm. Because there were several.
So let's start with Mario Chris Pratt, I guess. Which
it's not an evolution. Like, it's not like any that much new came out. We know that it's like, oh, he's still doing it, and yes, he's still doing the voice, and he's not doing an Italian, or sounds like maybe not even doing like an Italian American accent, like Brooklyn or Jersey or whatever. But the whole crux of it being that this Australia's TMZ called 2Fab, I guess, they happened to harass the co-producer of the film in the parking lot or some shit.
Yeah, it was like interview. As it said in the article, interview is really not taking it correctly.
Yeah,
it's really more of like an ambush.
Yeah, it was, and it just basically Chris Melandandri being like, "Oh, his voice is gonna be phenomenal," quote phenomenal. It's like, fine.
It's when you think about it, it's like such an odd. It's like guy going to the airport or whatever, and some person's like, you, hey, is Chris Pratt going to do an Italian accent?
Yeah.
It's like, maybe? I don't know.
It's so weird, though, that it's like, I mean, what's weird is that the dude gets, he gets ambushed like that, and then he's not, like, immediately, no comment. Like, it's just like, I'm not going to comment on anything to go on with production out here in the field. Like, we can have a real interview another time, or whatever. He's like, no, I don't want to comment on it. I'm just going to blow it. It's like, no, I'm actually going to go on record, and then a whole bunch of gaming news outlets are going to be like, we have some news, and it's like, sure you do.
Chris Pratt, meanwhile, in his hotel room practicing. It's a me. It's a me. It's a me. I can get this.
Yeah.
And sees it and is like, damn. Gonna have to redo my entire idea for this character.
Right? I gotta really get in touch with who Mario is, and this character that nobody's ever heard of before, and I have to be him. It's like, great. So there you go. That's that.
Yeah.
In more non-news. Did you know
this is very, very... This is a big news item from, like, 1994 4 or something.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's what, GBA, so yeah, I guess it's probably
mid
like
2000s.
yeah, 2002,
It's
2003.
GameCube era, right? So it's like a developer called Soft Brigade was making a GBA game based on Dune. And what's interesting about it actually is the gameplay, because it is like it's a first person flying shooting game that is all done with voxels, and I'm like you can really, the fact that it's all like, okay, the desert is all beige, and then the sky is kind of beigey blue, and I'm like, boy, you could really limit the palette. It's like kind of the perfect way to do a game like this that's all low res and whatever, because of the setting. And I'm like, that's real smooth. It looks really good, but fine. And then it got canceled because their publisher Cryo Interactive had financial troubles. The story is a publisher called the Retro Room Games is bringing the game back, but because they're not going to be able to afford the Dune IP rights, it's just being called something else. And so it's like, it's more of a thing of, this game will be kickstarted successfully on the merits of how good it is as an actual game, as opposed to, hey, it's a Dune game.
But it's like, presumably this Kickstarter is not going to be like a
successful. Sorry, what?
No, it's not going to be a GBA game.
No,
like it's going to be a modern game.
It sounds like.
Or are they going to like retro it?
It sounds like they're retroing, because it is the Retro Room Games. Like it sounds like they're making it a retro thing. That it's going to be. It sounds like they're actually putting it on a GBA cartridge. You'll be able to buy it physically if they reach their whatever points they're going to reach, right? And then you can have a copy.
But it was never released. So it's not like this is like there's like a cult following for this game.
And if there was, it'd be because they were Dune fans, right? Like, that's what I don't get about this.
And yeah, you do bring. Now, I have very fond memories of Dune 2000.
Yes.
That was like one of the first. I remember I had a Mac at the time, but remember going over to like a friend's house, and like, that was like one of the first RTS kind of games I played.
Yeah. Same thing happened to me, actually. So yeah.
And but yeah, I didn't actually know what Dune. I hadn't read Dune at the time.
Neither had I.
And so, for one thing, they added a third faction.
Yeah.
The Ordos.
Yeah, House Ordos, which is actually a minor house in the Landsrat. It's not it's not a great house. It is it's a minor house. But they needed another faction, so they pulled them in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you're all hunting for spice at the same time on the same planet, right?
Yeah. Which definitely shouldn't happen.
Yeah. And also the fact that the game, like Dune the movie, came out in 1984. So the fact that Dune 2000 got made, and like...
Or Dune 2.
Well, Dune 2, yeah. But I mean, the fact that Dune 2000 got made, the fact that all these Dune games got made...
I guess it might actually have been Dune 2 that I was actually...
Okay.
That I had actually played, because then the company that made Dune 2, Westworld, went on to make Command & Conquer.
Yes.
Which was sort of Dune, but better and not IP licensed.
Yeah, exactly. Can make it themselves and whatnot. And it's kind of wild, because, like, this has been the idea of making Dune video games has definitely survived for a long time, but like, as it was an opinion piece largely from me, it's like, I think that you always end up with that having to go way outside the idea of this is what goes on in the game. So Dune, I don't think makes a great video game, unless you maybe did something that was more like a Fallout style game, where you're like, you're kind of the whole opening part of Dune happens, and then or maybe just like the movie the movie part 1, like Dune Part 1 2021 that just came out right now. All of that happens, and then the game starts. It's like you'd have to watch the whole freaking movie, and then you have to then you can play the game, and it's like, because now you're with the Fremen, and you're trying to get notoriety, and you're trying to fight a guerrilla battle and doing all those kind of things until you finally recover your atomics and and then blow up the shield wall. And
in some way, I don't know, it'd be cool to just I can imagine a game where you're just like a Fremen, like you're not actually like Paul Atreides.
Yeah,
you're like it feels like there's all sorts of interesting stories that could be told as a video game in the Dune world.
Exactly, yeah.
Or in the Dune universe. Heck, there's all sorts of interesting things that's not on Arrakis.
Yeah. There's that too, right? But
it's like Dune, and then it just starts. We're like on a water planet.
Everybody wants to be Paul, and it's like, why? I mean, the Ornithopter Assault game is definitely not. You're not Paul in that, so it's you can just be whomever, and it's like that's not a bad way to go. But
yeah, it's hard to argue with everyone wanting to be Paul.
Yeah, right.
That is just
that is why you're Paul.
And then also, we got talking about Splinter Cell Blacklist. So this is kind of an interesting story in that it kind of self-destructed as a CheckPoint story. Yep. So, we usually write stuff on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And then, maybe tighten things up a little bit and write like the intro and the outro and stuff on Thursday morning.
Because that gives us the most time to actually be like, it's the least time to write, but it is the most time to be like, okay, breaking news, we can talk about it tomorrow.
Right.
Hopefully this will work out.
Yeah, because if something, especially obviously we're right now, after Desert Bus and stuff, we took a couple of weeks off. So there's all sorts of news that came out during Desert Bus that it's just like, it's already been heavily covered by other places. And there's no really need to go back all that way. So we try to keep things pretty fresh. And so, but the problem we run into is, so there's a story about the Splinter Cell support people, and this post on the forum, which is pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah.
Just being like, we know that there's a problem. If you keep posting things about it, it's taking, we have to look at these new tickets, and it's taking time away from the rest of any actual problems that we can fix.
Yeah, because we cannot address this problem with Splinter Cell Blacklist.
And so we're gonna suspend your account if you submit this.
I love that it was like 7-day ban. If you, it's not even like we'll think about it. It's like, no, any new ticket, 7-day ban. New ticket after that, permanent ban.
Which, like, when you start thinking about it, that doesn't actually make like any sense as a policy, right?
Right.
But then it turns out that apparently, so this was posted in the Ubisoft support forums as a locked, stickied thread, and then it got deleted, and apparently it was not true, or what it had been posted by an imposter or somebody pretending to be an Ubisoft employee.
Yes.
Who's not actually an Ubisoft employee.
According to Ubisoft.
And of course the immediate question is, how does somebody who isn't an Ubisoft employee able to sticky and lock a thread on the forums? That seems odd. But anyway, so when Kathleen originally wrote this story Wednesday night, that information wasn't known. So we thought it was just, a guy who had got to the end of his tether and was just like, in desperation. And then when I was going over doing the graphics in the next morning, there was like on Kotaku or wherever, there was like a couple of updates at the top where the first update was like, we've received a statement from Ubisoft, and then like second update, okay, this turns out to be not a thing anymore at all. Sorry for the misunderstanding. And so we're stuck with this story that's funny. Yeah. But it's like, it's actually
rather inaccurate.
But it actually turns out to be like a kind of a nothing story. But then, we reorganized it a little bit and added the bit, because the combination, it's so like the combination of like banning people, and the game is called Splinter Cell Blacklist. It's so tempting,
Yeah. And ultimately it's like it's always the cover up, right? It's never the crime, it's always the cover up. And it's this idea of that Ubisoft being like, oh no, it's a fake, and it's like, but that's weird that it's a fake if it got locked and pinned, like it was stickied before it actually got straight up deleted. So did a mod get involved? Did somebody post pretending to be an engineer, and then a mod was like, oh shit, that's from an engineer, I better sticky this and lock it? And like, what happened? It's like, we'll never find out. But it was as you say, it's delicious.
It feels like the kind of thing that like they've said like it was an imposter, it wasn't the thing, and like so I feel like the next stage, if people aren't buying that, the next stage is that like somebody got hacked.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh yes, there was one of the accounts for one of our developers got hacked and posted it. That's going to be like the next stage. But the core of this thing being that Splinter Cell Blacklist, which I recall quite enjoying. I have been in the past big into the Splinter Cell games. The servers have been kaputskied for a while now. And it's one of those things where like Ubisoft hasn't actually said that they're not supporting it anymore.
Right.
They just haven't fixed it, so they're effectively not supporting it anymore.
Right.
But not officially. Anyway, let's there was a bunch of news that came out about the whole Activision Blizzard or Activision Blizzard's shenanigans, the various like angles on it's essentially one thing, right? Like this not a single incident, but like a single. It's a one problem. It's a problem within Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
But this problem has all these different manifestations.
Yeah, because of how endemic it kind of has become throughout the corporation, that it's like there's a whole bunch of different bits of fallout that are coming out of this bolus of shit.
Yeah.
So the tendrils have gone everywhere. And so, okay, a quick summary. Francis Townsend, who's the chief compliance officer, apparently wrote a letter that was like not great, and
which we
was
reported on. And that was like one of the first sort of PR salvos in this thing from Blizzard, was that they did this letter, and then Bobby Kotick came back being like, that letter was like not correct.
It was tone deaf.
Yeah. We're now gonna, we're totally on board with fixing all this stuff.
Yeah. And now we found out that he wrote that letter.
And was like, send it under your name.
Yep.
A lot of this information is coming from a quite in-depth Wall Street Journal article that did a lot of digging on, and was sort of, and again, a lot of this stuff isn't things, it's not like new information that we didn't know, but it's giving some very illuminating background information on these situations that we knew had happened, but we didn't quite know the extent of who knew what when, basically.
Yeah. There's the thing where now the ABK, Activision Blizzard King, Workers Alliance, is calling for Bobby Kotick to get the hell out, because that same WSJ article said that Kotick intervened when HR was saying, you should fire Dan Bunting, the former co-head of Treyarch, because of being accused of sexual harassment, and Bobby was like, yeah, no, we're not going to fire him. So there was that.
And it's like, we know from other reports that Activision Blizzard's HR department didn't do a very good job in protecting people.
No. But then they tried.
But like they didn't do a very good job in protecting people. Yeah. They swept a lot of stuff under the rug.
Right.
But in this case, they did actually do what they were supposed to do.
Yes.
And still, Kotick said, so like, considering what the HR department like was, allowed or dealt with on their own.
Yeah.
The fact that they didn't do it for this, but it's still that Kotick still blocked it, is disturbing.
Yeah. There's the next thing after that was of course we know J. Allen Brack resigned, and he was replaced by Mike Ybarra and Jen O'Neill. They were going to be co-leaders. An interesting idea to lead that branch of the company. Why would you have two people in charge of a company, Paul? It seems very odd.
There's reasons.
Yeah. But anyway, so Mike and Jen both ending up being co-leaders, and then Jen left, and we reported on that, and we were like, and when I wrote that story actually,
right, and she left with this
very sunny,
this letter that was like, I am so optimistic about all the great things that are happening at Blizzard that I'm gonna leave. Mm-hmm. which we're all a little bit skeptical. It's like, this seems odd.
And I was trying to be like, when I wrote that, I was like, don't be shitty about Jen, because a woman being put in that position and being given the opportunity to have that much power and to be like, no, I'm gonna be responsible. I'm gonna do the damn thing. And it sucks that the initial thing was, we put Jen in charge and we put Mike in charge. Mm. But why did you have to put both of them in charge? Is it such a big job? But then why would Jen leave if she's trying to make a difference? This doesn't ring true at all. And I'm like, I don't want to accuse her of not giving a shit.
Right.
And it turns out I was right. She actually does give a shit. She left not because of that reason. She left because, as reports turned out, she was being tokenized, marginalized, and basically given no ability to do anything whatsoever.
And being paid less.
Than the
other guy, yeah.
We want to be clear that Graham had said Jen had gone in to argue for, I want to be compensated equally with Mike. She went in the room with Mike Ibarra. The two of them went in together, and both of them said, she needs to be paid the same as me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was
interesting.
That was what Graham meant when he said with whom she had made several requests with Mike Ibarra. She had gone in together and said, we need the two of us to be paid the same amount of money, and those requests were denied. And then she said, fine, I'm resigning. And they said, oh, you know what? We should actually pay her the same. That's a great idea. So that's real freaking weird.
There's the thing about bonuses.
Yeah, wow.
Which I didn't highlight it. So we were talking about that these 4 executives got a bunch of bonuses right at the time thing. If you go to the CheckPoint video, pause it there and look at the screenshot that I took, which is of the
restricted stock units being
dispersed. That's public information that is thing. You can see that these 4, I highlighted the fact these 4 people were given stock things. That's the history of stock things. 2 entries down, not highlight that it didn't highlight because it wasn't part of this particular story, but you can see 2 entries down in August, Bobby Kotick, the guy who, remember a couple of weeks ago was like, you know what? Until we get this fixed, I'm going to take the absolute minimum salary that I possibly can.
Yeah.
And all that money is going to go towards, fixing this problem.
Yes.
In August, he received a ton of stock options.
He received more stock options. I think it was twice what the other 4 executives received as RSUs. He received 115,000 RSUs. Now, and that valued at $0, right? It's like he's just given those is what that means when you go look at it. So it's like...
I'm not I don't know if I'm not an accountant. I don't know how to, that's just from reading my interpretation of reading this document. Mm-hmm. But it seems a little interesting now.
Yeah. What else happened? Oh, right. So we know there's an Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 delay. We have talked about that before. They just said, again, hey, the delay is still there. So investors, hang tight. What else?
And then this wonderful the Workplace Responsibility Committee.
Yeah.
Which is one of those things where it's like, okay, cool. I mean, I kind of thought that they had already at least 1 or 2 different things that they were setting up in order to foster this kind of, productive talking with people.
Right.
And trying to fix the company. But okay, they're going to set up this Workplace Responsibility Committee. Not super exciting, but sure, okay. That's the thing that you should be. That's the thing that you should be doing
Yeah.
when you're a company like this in damage control mode.
Yeah.
All right, who's on this committee? It's a committee of 2 people, which is not immediately very exciting.
No.
The 2 people are 2 people from the board of directors of the company. They are the only 2 women on the 10-person board of directors. So there's 2 women on the board of directors, and they're like, "Hey, could you 2 help us with this,
Yeah. You know how it is.
please?"
And board roles, by and large, as my understanding is, they're not paid either, right? Like you join a board because you're like, I'm already making money doing other things. You might get a stipend or like something, right? But it's
And you have usually, I think you usually have like stock in the company, too.
yeah. Sometimes that will happen as well. But yeah, by and large, if you join a board, you're doing that because it's like you're supposed to be a group of people that are being like, we want to ensure that the company is doing its best work,
Right.
and so but our intervention is not going to be at the day-to-day or things like that. Our intervention is more with the C-level classes to keep the C-levels from doing anything weird or stupid. But
And so I don't know. I keep thinking, imagining like I think that like an SNL sketch or whatever of just like these 2 women standing up in front of this board of old white guys,
Yeah.
with like a diagram and being like trying to patiently explain to them why sexual harassment is bad.
Yeah.
And it's like, imagine, okay, let's try, let's imagine, a female employee is coming to you and asking for a raise.
Right.
Do you A, pat her on the butt? Do you B, make a comment about her outfit?
Yeah.
Or C, take her request seriously and evaluate her compensation with the other people in her department?
or D, colored toots. Now, don't always choose C,
And then-
but maybe think about it.
Yeah, and everybody's like, and they're like, this is not supposed to be a hard question.
Oh my goodness. Can we pick more than one answer, they say. And it's like, holy shit. I mean, I'm not accusing everybody else on the board, maybe Bobby, of being like a complete just piece of shit, but
I don't know what it is, not being fair or being I don't know whether it's worthwhile to point out that as far as we know, at the moment anyway, no actual accusations of harassment or anything have come on Bobby.
yeah.
He's more he's been defending people and protecting people and doing all this other bad stuff.
Yeah.
But he himself doesn't seem to be particularly having done all this done this stuff.
No one has actually said he's done the bad. He's been aware of it and doesn't.
He's
want
just,
to have anything to do with
supporting
it.
people who are.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so there
yay.
turns out that when you sit on the Activision Blizzard board, you do actually make a big chunk of goddamn money. They're making $250,000 every year. I hope that's true. I'm gonna say it out loud on the thing, and hopefully that's true. But we know how we do journalism here in CheckPoint. So yeah. Okay, there is the thing. Somebody did point out earlier that he did apparently leave a voicemail message for somebody saying, "I can have you killed."
Oh, okay.
And it's like, so he did threaten somebody, even if he didn't mean it, but it's like, that's still your boss? So I would take it seriously.
That's less a threat and more just, giving information.
Yeah. God, just want to let you know where I stand on things that I can accomplish.
Yeah. I just all right, and then so that's I think giving you a quick overview of some of the stuff there, which I think probably ended up taking longer than the actual story in the episode, but that's how it goes.
I just feel good knowing that it's just a dumb thing to feel good about, but I feel good knowing that my initial instinct on Jen O'Neill leaving was right. It was like, she's getting screwed so royally somehow, and that's why she's out of here.
Yeah,
that has to be why. And
yeah.
I'm like, okay, I was right.
This seems weird, yeah. Although one aspect of this is that Nintendo. So previously, Microsoft and Sony have both like come out and said that they're very concerned about these allegations against Activision Blizzard and stuff. Previously, Nintendo hadn't really made any comment on it. Now they have. They've in an investor. I think it's an investor meeting.
It was the
Or
Nintendo of
no,
America.
it was a email that sent out to all the. It was a company wide email.
Yeah.
Saying the allegations regarding Activision Blizzard are distressing and disturbing. They run counter to my values as well as Nintendo's beliefs and policies.
That's Nintendo of America President Doug Bowser. That's not
Right.
Nintendo of Japan. It's
Which will never not be funny.
I know.
That it's like imagine it's like Bowser, King Koopa sends an email out to all his employees being like, what this company is doing is against. We're for lava and castles, kidnapping princesses, taking over the world. But the allegations, these people, the things that is happening is very disturbing.
Yeah.
There's not reflect the values of King Koopa Incorporated as a company.
And of course, I mean, we didn't address this in that story, it was kind of like, is this worth actually talking about? The thing about the fact that the Xbox division, we're just going to refer to it as Xbox. I hate it when people do that because I know it's technically Microsoft, but really it is Xbox because they are their own division. So Xbox and Sony having their positions and being like, we're bothered by this. And then Nintendo says nothing. And I'm like, well, that's kind of par for the course. I mean, Nintendo just kind of doesn't want to say anything usually because it's, by and large, I think it is really much of a let's not get involved. This is somebody else's problem. And for Nintendo of America President Doug Bowser to say this, and then to be like, how does Nintendo writ large feel? Like, how does Nintendo of Japan? How does the larger overall company? Because there might be a thing there where it's like in Nintendo of Japan they might feel a certain way about it, they might not, but also at the same time. I was talking about this with Heather a week or so ago, or I guess or a few days ago when this was coming up. I was like, by and large, I think they're going to just kind of be like, that's somebody else's problem. That's Activision Blizzard's problem. It's not a Nintendo problem. We're not going to talk about it. We're just not going to do business with them, maybe. Right? Just shut up and not do anything.
Yeah, like I don't know if this is just my perception, but I feel like there isn't a thing with Nintendo and other Japanese companies that it's just like it's not commenting on what another company is doing.
Yeah.
If it's not directly affecting you, is like not considered to be that not done as much.
Yeah.
And it's not like you not having it's not as common anyway.
Yeah, and it's what got me about the fact that the Sony's PlayStation division said something, and I'm like, sure, I guess I can kind of see that, but it's Sony PlayStation chief Jim Ryan, and I'm like, okay, hang on, is that then because the PlayStation division is by and large more American these days? I don't know enough about how it's organized, but it does make me wonder if it's like if Sony themselves are like, we're not gonna say a word about this. This is not our dog. It's not our fight. It's not our whatever. Right? It's like, we're not gonna get into this. And I'm like, I was surprised to see Nintendo say anything at all. Especially when they don't have much in terms of Blizzard, Activision. They don't have much of Blizzard games, but Activision games.
I mean, Activision Blizzard is so big that they encompass a lot of different things. Yeah. But although I do like that, this is distressing and disturbing. It runs counter to my values as well as Nintendo's beliefs and policies. Mm-hmm. To be fair, is almost exactly what Bobby Kotick said.
Yeah.
like this runs counter to our beliefs and values, and it's disturbing. Is also what Activision Blizzard said.
It would be,
which didn't stop them doing it.
Yeah, it'd be funny as hell though if he actually wrote the thing he wrote was almost like a quote word for word what Bobby wrote. To just kind of throw the words back in his face to be like, yeah, it's funny you say that. We feel the same way.
All right, let's move on here to something slightly less controversial. Mowing Simulator.
Yeah, good.
Which is getting its first expansion, Ancient Britain. So you can mow Ancient Britain.
I did not, and then wouldn't even know that would be a thing people would have been wanting to build.
I love the trailer that we show at the end of the video where it's just like, authentic mowing action, real take on, jobs and stuff. It's like, it's there's the like pressure washer simulator
Yeah,
game
yeah.
and stuff like I could see that mowing a lawn in a video game could be very relaxing.
Yeah. I think that the Pressure Washers Simulator 2021 is definitely going to release like some sort of, I don't know, ancient Japan DLC. Then at that point, and be like, oh, you get to clean shrines with your pressure washer in ancient Japan. We saw people being like, we love our pressure washers, but we want to go back in time and wash things that we couldn't. It's like, okay, you can go to Rome and you can clean all the paint off of all of the statues. They're nice and bright white when everybody finds them 1,000, 3,000 years from now.
Yeah, if there's one thing that people always say about the Roman ruins is that they're very dirty. they need a good pressure washing. The now what I really want is a mod for lawn mowing simulator that replaces the like ride on lawnmower
Right.
with like just with Link with his sword.
Oh, yeah.
So you're just like just like you're cutting down the grass in the game, right? And then just like rubies pop up every once in a while.
Right, exactly. It's just basically Wind Waker all over again.
All right. Let's talk about some stories that we didn't talk about in the episode. Firstly, this one, which I'll be honest, I marked partially because of the headline in on Polygon, which was Sims 4's Neighborhood Stories, which is a new expansion coming out for Sims 4, will give free will to other Sims. It's like, wait, what? Why are we giving free will to? Considering the kinds of things that have been done to Sims, I don't think we should give them free will.
Is the implication that until now every Sim would do exactly what you wanted them to do?
That's true.
I guess.
So basically,
I didn't know that.
This is a neat idea actually. This is a cool thing. The Neighborhood Stories is basically what's going to be what this expansion does is it makes it so like, there's all the stuff that happens in your little house.
Right.
You control the people and stuff.
Right.
This is making it so that like other people in the neighborhood have their own stuff going on.
Oh, good.
Their own lives.
Great.
Their own things going on. Like you can be matchmaker and encourage like-minded people to get together or break up relationships. You can they like just like your neighbor might get a new career or have a baby or just stuff like they'll be doing stuff
And they'll have things then to come tell you about when those things happen, I guess.
yeah
That's interesting.
and then and you can or your I guess your Sims and you because you're god of your Sims can then choose to interact with those things, interfere with them. As it's in the article, break up. What is this? Break up a relationship and then swoop into the newly single person.
It's super weird, right? Like to think, but it's like, hey, if you like drama, a lot of people I think really, because until now you kind of had to write those stories yourself, right? You had to kind of be like, I'm the emergent storytelling was more about the ways that you wish to interpret the things that are happening. And I love that in chat. Who's it? I can't read it, sorry, but I just see how it's coming ever closer to Dwarf Fortress, and I'm like, there is that idea of as the simulation spreads out that you can just have other people doing their things, and the stories are now getting written on their own, and now you can interact with those however you want to, be involved. But maybe, and you don't have that kind of like fine-grained control over what they're doing, just over what your Sims are doing. So.
And of course, as you were saying, as we know, the control you have over your Sims is even still not that precise. It's more kind of suggestions.
Yeah.
Again, another article that I marked just because it was funny to me. Well-known Pokemon designer James Turner showed off some really wonderful art about
for Brilliant Diamond
Shining Shining Pearl. And you know what? I I was surprised. I apparently James has been holding out on us. This is not famous YouTuber James Turner.
No.
This is a different James Turner.
This Pokemon artist,
James Turner.
James Turner, who works for the Pokemon Company. One of the people in one of the groups in the Pokemon Company.
And, just throwing that out there to James Turner. If you would like to join our Discord, we have a Extraordinary League of Jameses.
We do.
Group that you could join. I feel like you could be an honorary, or not even honorary. You could be a member that if your name is already James Turner.
I would really like all of the James Turners to kind of just find each other in a space someday to just be like, we're all just going to hang out, because I think they probably would all be fine hanging out with each other.
Probably. Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
Which is the pirate MMO type game.
Yeah.
That has been continuing. People have been enjoying it a lot. So the latest expansion, they recently added rowboats.
Okay.
Which was great because then now you can go and get treasure and stuff without making your big ship in danger.
Oh, you'd have to run it aground or something to.
Yeah, or you could there's dangerous rocks and stuff, and so rather than which is obviously how a rowboat would have actually been used.
Yeah, exactly.
And people in video games being the innovative gameplay folks that they are, people had already figured out various ways to ram rowboats into other people to attack them. But Rare, the developer of Sea of Thieves, wanted to kind of make that official.
Right.
And so now you can put a cannon on your rowboat. Which seems almost more like a propulsion method than an attack method.
I'm just thinking the same thing. I was like, wait, so if it's permanently attached and you fire it, would it not just rocket forward because of the blast?
I hope so.
I hope so. Oh, that's good.
I haven't played enough of the game, but anyway. So rather than just slamming your rowboat into somebody else's ship, you can actually presumably drive around and be rowboat pirates.
Yeah.
Which is that's in in Pirates of the Caribbean, when you first see Jack Sparrow arriving on the little teeny weeny boat that's sinking. But I feel like that's the the idea of hard bitten pirates that have to row out to everybody.
Yeah.
Fire the cannon. Oh no, wait. Turn around the other way.
I really like the idea of just guys who forego having a ship and just being like, I'm just gonna have a rowboat.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a dozen guys with rowboats.
That's like a flotilla.
Yeah, right? Yeah, this was wild. Heather pointed this out to me.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of dancing in Fortnite, I
sure
guess.
Is, yeah.
And maybe that dancing will start to get more exciting because Epic, the developer of Fortnite, has bought Harmonix.
Yes.
The people who make Rock Band and Dance Central and Fuser.
And what was the one before that we played? The card-based thing that we were playing that's like Fuser, but it's...
Oh, yeah, DJ thing. Yeah,
what was it called again? Something Mix. Drop Mix.
Yeah, that was a neat one.
That was a fun little game to play, yeah. Expensive if you want to have that played with all your buddies, but why? Why does Epic turn around and be like, you know what we need is Harmonix?
As we've talked about before with Fortnite and the way that Tim Sweeney of Epic has been sort of has been open in his thing of making Fortnite the sort of omni game.
Yeah, I want to have a metaverse. Yeah.
Maybe there's the next we had Among Us in Fortnite. Maybe there's just gonna be rhythm game stuff in Fortnite.
Yeah.
Are they gonna have to start playing Fortnite on Rhythm Cafe?
I think it's something.
Finally, Fortnite finally makes it into the Loading Ready Run stream schedule
just because of that.
Because of Rhythm Cafe.
There is a way, like, I can see this working, is that if you think about what Japanese idol concerts are like, that what you have is people who are quite the fans. There will be videos released before the event that will teach you the dances that everyone
Right.
else is going to be doing, and you have to have the right glow sticks. But you'll have to have a like just an arrangement of glow sticks. Because you'll have to pull out the right ones at the right time if you're in the right area of the thing, and you'll have to do all this stuff.
Oh, it's so complicated.
Yeah, it's very complicated. And in fact, there were even, I know there was like a Love Live concert. I think it was a Love Live concert where during one of the songs, the fans had all decided that during a certain song, because it was one of the idols, I think her graduation, like she was leaving the Love Live group to go solo or do whatever. They all did a thing in her colors to basically like wish her well or do whatever, and it's like they're communicating their love back to the concert, right? To the people performing.
So this is all like coordinated by the fans. Not by the...
Exactly.
Wow.
Like that's the thing. And I mean, probably there's a bit of the managers getting involved to be like, we want to help promote this. We want them to participate too. And I'm like, this is, I think, where we see this come out. If they're gonna use any of what Rock Band does, or what, I mean, just harmonics does in general, and they want to introduce a rhythm element to going to the concert and be like, hey, do you want to just sit and watch the concert? Great. Or do you want to be in the cheer squad?
Well, because of course they've done in-game concerts, quite a few in-game concerts already.
Absolutely.
And it is a thing where, like, when in-game concerts, people will be doing emotes and jumping and doing different things in time, or trying to sort of be in time with the music. So the idea of actually like codifying that into a gameplay element, could be cool. I like that.
I don't know if that's what they're gonna do, but it seems like a thing that if you have that team, that's probably what you're leaning towards. And I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, even I would imagine if you are Epic or Fortnite, and you're interested and you want to push deeper into that music within the game market. I mean, harmonics, totally apart from their actual development expertise, which is substantial, obviously. I'm sure they've got the industry relationships that they have are probably worth a lot just in of themselves.
True, yeah. Absolutely. So that was interesting and wild, and I guess we can definitely look forward to never seeing any more harmonics rhythm games. They will all be coming probably based directly out of Epic.
Yep.
And they'll be working on Fortnite. So
1,000 plastic drum sets all went and cried in the corner.
Yep.
So, it's a shame that I feel like every time we do a story about Roblox, it's about something terrible happening in Roblox.
Yeah.
Which I guess is just the whole thing with CheckPoint. The story, everything is great in this video game, isn't like a fun story to write about.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this is not something. Well, this is something associated with Roblox. So, maybe some people in the chat know of this YouTube creator name of Ruben Sim, who he seems to be, and I don't know anything about this YouTube creator, but going from what's in this article, seems to be a big dillweed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is a guy who is a YouTube creator, and I get the impression used to produce or used to specialize in Roblox content, and then a couple of years ago, I think it was like a couple of years ago, he was banned for completely unreasonable like a totally unreasonable reason, like harassing people using racist and homophobic slurs. Uploading pictures of Hitler.
Yep. Sexually harassing other players.
Yeah, obviously the Roblox people totally overreacted.
Yeah, they don't understand what a gamer moment is.
And so I get the impression that this banning from the game that was his place of choice to troll really rubbed this guy the wrong way. And so he spent the last couple of years doing this more.
Yeah, like
Stealing accounts from people and doing it more. His fan base, who are obviously the people who are fans of the guy who's been doing this are themselves kind of dillholes. And so, sending his fans after people, his fans make accounts on Roblox, give him the account, he messes around with people. It just seems to be like that's his milieu, his raison d'etre.
It's that you pivot off of I'm creating content to I'm actually just a giant asshole.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been banned. Well, then I'm just gonna be worse. And why not just be worse? The article on Polygon is quite extensive. As here's all the things, here's all the threats, the fake threats about RDC 2021.
Yeah, because I mean we're talking like there's harassing people in the game is one thing, which is obviously very bad.
Yeah.
But he's also been doing like calling in terrorist threats to RDC 2021, the like Roblox developer conference.
Yep.
Shutting down the conference.
Yeah.
Like, this is which is one of those things that's like now we're into the realm of this is not like the mods of Roblox are going to do. This is like now you're doing criminal things.
Yeah.
That the police are going to talk to.
Yeah.
And so anyway, guess what? Roblox is suing him.
Mm-hmm. For a few million?
Yeah. I would have hoped that, like the thing that he would also be in trouble with the police. Like they wouldn't record. Like it seems like something that shouldn't be like a suing thing. But anyway, so that's what's going on right now. Obviously, this is like Roblox has filed suit for this. I'm always interested to see, how these things will play out. I feel like the strong defense of it was all a joke, bro. I don't know how successful that's going to be. I feel like
a joke generally has one punchline, right? It's not the punchline isn't months long.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I feel like the legal system has gotten less and less able to, or less. They're less and less willing to have that as the reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I'm assuming this guy is the fact that he's being. I bet. I can just imagine the like YouTube thumbnail. That's like the guy being like, with the name like, I'm being sued by Roblox.
Yeah. Why would they sue me? It's like, yeah.
So anyway.
So that's gonna play itself out, and I'm not entirely like, it's not like I think we say that, oh, we're on Roblox's side. I'm like, I am on the side of getting rid of douchebags on the internet. I think that'd be lovely, but I don't think I'm cheering for Roblox in this case, but I don't know if I cheer for Roblox in general. Because there's reasons why Roblox, there's some weird business practices around underage creators on Roblox and stuff. Yeah,
being exploited and things, but that is completely separate and has no relationship with people being harassed on it. Like
exactly.
Not different deal. So we've talked about the Super Mario World in Japan.
Super Nintendo World.
Super Nintendo World.
Yes.
In Japan.
I got all excited about
the theme park.
Mario World, yeah.
In Japan a couple times now because it's a fun story.
Yeah.
And it's like there's like real physical video game stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it's been having, it's not, I mean, for one thing, they opened up like last year, which obviously wasn't the greatest time to be opening a theme park.
No.
And so they had to delay their opening for a long, long time, and then they finally actually opened. It's part of Universal Studios Japan. They finally opened And they had in the summer a Goomba Tower decoration fell down, sparking an investigation into visitor safety. I would propose that Goomba Towers are supposed to fall down. Like,
Yeah,
isn't that what they do?
Well, you never see them actually do it. Like, I don't think in Odyssey the Goomba Towers ever fall over. So they're supposed to have remarkable balance.
And now a fire broke out on the Yoshi ride. Possibly they used the wrong type. They used the Yoshi that shoots fireball.
Yeah.
They used the wrong
Yoshis.
type. It's like you can't just swap in any Yoshi.
Yeah.
Red Yoshis are going to shoot fireballs.
Exactly.
That's going to mess up the whole thing.
And yellow Yoshis will cause earthquakes, and blue Yoshis will
Cause all sorts of water damage.
Yeah. They're the ones with the wings, though.
Oh, right. No,
yeah.
the blue Yoshis, they just won't stay put.
Exactly. They just they want to just leave the track.
So, the reason why this is funny is because this happened after hours.
Yes.
And nobody was hurt.
Yes.
So it's still funny.
Yeah. And it happened in the ceiling of the indoor section. It's not like a Yoshi lit on fire and melted or anything. It wasn't just like one of the cars just did
that
a
would
thing.
be funnier.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be just this melted looking thing. But yeah, so it's like, have to have a look at that. And, I mean, even when this opened, I was never feeling like, boy, I got to get over there and go see it opening day kind of thing. Like, I haven't felt that. Mostly because it just doesn't sound like there's enough to do. But that's just me.
Apparently there's a Donkey Kong expansion coming
I know, right? Like, I'm kind of like, oh, wait for that expansion. Maybe wait for, like, another expansion after that. And then probably be, like, lots to do. And then definitely be worth going to Japan again.
I want the Donkey Kong expansion just to be like, and here's a forest.
Yeah.
Are there monkeys in it? Maybe.
You just have girders up, and it's like the original Donkey Kong game. And it's like, okay. And you can climb these
guy will
ropes.
chuck barrels at you.
Yeah, exactly. They'll kind of put together like Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. together, or maybe they'll have Stanley the Bugman show up with his bug spray.
Yeah, hit the like old school stuff.
Yeah.
All right, final bit of news I've got.
Speaking of Fortnite.
Yeah, we had already talked about Fortnite harmonic stuff, but I don't quite. I haven't quite been tracking how Fortnite's like season system's been working.
Yes.
Because they keep having like seasons, and they'll be like, in this season we're releasing a bunch of Predator and Rick from Rick and Morty and Superman. We'll be like all in one season. They'll have the different characters and stuff. But apparently, this has all been Chapter 2. So remember, a few years ago, the Fortnite thing went like.
Oh yeah.
There was like a black hole.
Right.
And everywhere, like Fortnite, like you literally couldn't play Fortnite. It was an awesome move.
Right.
Like you opened the Fortnite client and it was eaten by a black hole and you couldn't play Fortnite for a day.
Cool. Was that Chapter 1?
That was the end of Chapter 1.
Okay.
Then Chapter 2 started.
Right.
And all this has been happening. So apparently Chapter 2 is now coming to an end. And the beginning of the end will be December 4th. And it's called Fortnite The End.
Mm-hmm.
Which seems fairly finale, but
Yeah.
presumably it's Fortnite The End and then Chapter 3.
Yeah. Interesting that, because this has kind of been going on for a while, and as the new stuff comes out, right, where it's like, oh, there's other things that are coming out all the time. Like World of Warcraft gets expansions,
Right.
and you had to like buy those things, but Minecraft gets updates, and this is the thing that I've never quite understood, how the evolution of the client, the evolution of what it is you're doing in the game, how visually things improve, because obviously there's people always working on those kind of things, and at some point it's like the Fortnite client will stop working on a machine of this capacity, on a console of this capacity, because you'll be unable to play it, right? It's too visually intense or something.
Yeah, like I'm not sure if this is actually entailing any engine changes,
right,
or whether this is just stuff, but I believe like with the beginning of when Chapter 1 ended and they brought Chapter 2, I think like the whole like island map changed and stuff, and they moved things around and did a whole different stuff. But and I saw somebody in the chat in like, is there actually a Fortnite? Is there actually a story to Fortnite? And I'm as surprised as you, but apparently there is.
Okay.
Like
Great.
I don't know what it is, but from the like osmosis that I've gotten from like just reading articles about different things that have happened in Fortnite and watching sometimes like watching the like trailers for the new thing that's coming out,
Right.
there seems to be a fairly in-depth story. I keep getting I've said this before that I keep getting a little confused about it's like Fortnite's still like the battle royale game, right?
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of stuff in Fortnite that isn't Fortnite, the battle royale game. There's a lot of stuff that you can do in it that's just like, there's like creative mode where you can just like go around. There's people going to concerts, there's the Martin Luther King exhibit that you could go to.
Lots to do.
All sorts of stuff that was going on. But yeah, Fortnite does have a plot. It's a weird plot because it's a plot that like is tying together like I was saying, Predator and Superman and Lara Croft and the Master Chief from Halo and Rick from Rick and Morty and all these things. So I don't know what the plot is, but apparently there is one. There's like a guy who's a fish that's like their mascot. There's like a banana guy.
All right. I mean, it's just because largely it feels like there's a story going on, but then everyone is just shooting each other and building stuff. And
like
I
I don't know how much of the story that you actually participate in.
Yeah.
But there are like events. Like what's going to happen with the end thing is it's actually there's going to be a bunch of like events that are like timed. Apparently like you queue up for it.
Okay.
And they're like scheduled. This event is going to happen.
Right.
And once you play the event, you can't play it again. Like it's a one-time only
You get this
thing.
one shot of doing this thing. Okay.
You won't be able to do it in replays, and Epic will never run it again after it's over.
I hope that's until they release Fortnite Classic. I wonder if that is a
they're hitting that FOMO thing, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Destiny. We've
Definitely.
talked about that before, but Destiny.
But it does make me wonder about that too. That it's like if the aim is to make an experience in a game that is I'm trying to think of the right way to say this. If I was to play that event, can I lose? Because the idea is like you're playing the event. Well, if you can't play it ever again, because I still think of Fortnite largely as 100 people enter, one person leaves.
Right.
And like the event surely can't be, hey, it's another battle royale or
I think it's a
like,
different they've done other like non-battle royale things.
Right.
It'll be sort of based in the same world, but you'll be doing other types of things.
Because at least when you play like Destiny, the idea is you either are on your own or you're with your fire team, and you're like, go do these missions, win, and then we'll unlock some cool loot for you, and you move on your way. And I'm like, Fortnite has never seemed to me like the looter shooter kind of idea, where it's like, go do these missions with your friends, unlock some cool stuff, help us get towards the end, like that kind of idea. But
yeah, I feel like there's probably something to do with like it's sort of a like interactive cutscene or something, like you're sort of doing stuff, but you maybe can't lose. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? I largely am uninterested in it from a gaming perspective. From an academic perspective of this will be interesting stuff for CheckPoint to talk about. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm just sort of interested. I'm kind of interested in it just from like a cultural thing. You know, it's Fortnite is such a big thing and such a, especially with younger kids.
Yeah.
And because it's like available on mobile and stuff and people playing it and it is obviously a big sort of cultural event. I mean, sort of like Roblox, right? Yeah. Roblox is one of those things that for people our age, like it totally is under the radar.
Yeah.
But it's making billions of dollars a year.
Yeah. And you ask yourself, how is that possible? It's like, well, because there's so many other people who can be a part of a thing like that.
But people like a thing that I don't like?
Yeah, or have never heard of.
I don't like this. It's like, when you way back in the day when I was in high school, and it got stopped playing Magic the Gathering, right? And just sort of assumed that because I stopped playing it, Magic stopped.
Yeah.
And then when we started up playing it back in Loading Ready Run, like, there's been all these sets and all this stuff that happened while I wasn't there.
Yeah.
How dare they?
Yeah. But then also now that, and you're to take a lesson from this, because this is very much the microcosm, and then there's the macrocosm that you can see how this reflects that. The idea that because we are doing so much Magic stuff, and then I'm like, I don't play Magic, right? But I gain a lot of knowledge about what's
sort of through osmosis.
Yeah, I gain a lot of knowledge about what's going on. And so to me, it's like, well, Magic the Gathering seems like a really, really big deal, that it must be a lot of people really interested in. And of course, we bring that into Friday nights, the idea that everybody plays Magic in Friday nights.
Right.
And there's that sense of, this must be a huge deal. It must be making a ton of money. It must be more successful than it's ever been, ever. I don't even know if that's true or not. I don't know how true any of it is, right?
It is. Like, Magic is, I believe it is actually, like, the sets are selling better than they have ever been before.
And,
but you get into this, the sort of the bubble of your particular, area. It's like, oh man, Twitter exploded about this thing.
Yeah.
And somebody else would be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. I watched Colbert, and he made a reference to how these two people broke up, and one guy has abs. And I'm kind of like, I have never heard of either of these people.
Abs? I've never heard of those.
It's like, I don't know who these two people are. They had a big breakup, and everyone lost their goddamn minds about these two people having a big breakup. It wasn't like Kanye and Kim Kardashian or whatever. It was just literally two people I've never heard of. They were probably like both 19 years old. And it's like, but they're a big deal for some reason. And I felt a little bad that I'm like, I don't know who they are. That piece of the zeitgeist is leaving behind. But also, that's okay, because I think that's such a minor part of the zeitgeist, because only I've heard one person ever mention it. I haven't been seeing it everywhere, and I'm like, that is really how the influencer life lives, right? It's like, if you get the name out to everywhere, if you're seeing it in multiple places, now everyone believes it's a bigger deal than maybe it actually is. Mm-hmm. But when nobody's talking about the thing, or one person mentions it one time, it's like, it's not interesting. You know that people are not that involved in what's going on. So, yeah, that is, I think, the same thing with, knowing what Fortnite is, knowing what Roblox is, knowing what Minecraft is, and the fact that I don't play any of those three games, that I'm like...
It's... I mean, I was mentioning during Desert Bus that I've been playing Pokemon with my brother.
Great.
Pokemon Soul Silver and Heart Gold.
Nice.
And so we've been playing it, like, he lives in Boston, and so we've been playing it online, not like together, but we're both playing like our own things in like an emulator and screen sharing on to each other,
so we can see his.
Yeah, we're sort of playing side by side rather than
cool.
together. But it's fun though, and I have literally never actually played a Pokemon game, and so it's weird because I know a lot of stuff about Pokemon from doing CheckPoint stuff, and just because lots of Loading Ready Run people enjoy Pokemon and do stuff like that. And so it's weird to be like, you actually playing the game and be like, oh, this guy, right, this thing. That is super annoying.
Yeah.
I can see why everyone hates this Pokemon.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm thankful for if we're going to talk about like Thanksgiving era stuff, I'm thankful for the fact that being in this job means that I end up learning a lot more about what might be culturally relevant to a wider group of people than I would otherwise if I just had kind of the job I've always had.
Yeah.
So
luckily, we can feel confident that we're down with the kids.
Exactly.
We know what the kids are like.
The children think we're cool. Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about what's coming up next.
You bet.
Because we've got something very special coming up in just
It's part of the reason why
little
you're
under 2
here.
hours. Part of the reason why I'm here.
Yes.
Is that we got Friday Night Paper Fight coming up. And it is indeed Friday Night Paper Fight because we are going to be drafting Crimson Vow in person. It's going to be our first in-person draft in a very, very long time.
And and that also means it's going to be everybody's first look at the studio and how things are just a little different.
Yeah. 622 days apparently. James tweeted about it and showed our new drafting table, and so it should be super fun. I'm very excited to do that. So that's going to be happening this evening at 5:00. And then nothing currently on Saturday, but then on Sunday, Ian, I believe it's just Ian, is going to be playing BPM bullets per minute, which, as I was saying to him on Wednesday, I love Rhythm Cafe has like the most. I feel like as of the Loading Ray Run shows, it has the most like tonal whiplash.
Yeah,
because like of course any game, like any genre of game can have rhythm games.
It's
stuff.
true.
So you have like the magical cotton candy fairy with her little with her animal friends, and then you have
Devil Murderer
bullets per minute.
Yeah,
they're both rhythm games.
Yep.
And then on Sunday, Wheeler is doing Is This Your Card with a little known game called Magic the Gathering Arena.
Why? Is it because we don't have many? We don't have a lot of time left in November, I'm guessing.
And I think the idea is that he's going to be treating it like he treats the other games on Is This Your Card, as in like what to do if you're starting out new.
Fresh entry.
Yeah.
That's good.
So
Tune in for that.
That's kind of a fun idea, I think.
Yeah.
And then on Monday, Kathleen is continuing with her Shin Megami Tensei playthrough.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Followed by Can't Draw Horses Club, which that might not be there. I think we made that. That might be incorrect because Corey was not doing the November. But anyway, and then we also I thought we had something on Monday. But anyway, keep it on the schedule. 9:00 on Tuesday. All that other stuff. And now let's thank people who subscribed during the stream.
I can't wait. Oh God, the scroll.
Ashen Prime for that 4 years. Thank you very much.
And oh God, it's nice to hear the. I don't always hear them at home. Obviously, Drazvin returns for 51 months. Welcome back.
Party God for 46 months.
That party's full of the cardiac people who've been there for 31 months.
Careful with the partying with all this. Couldn't pick a username for 60 months. Woo-hoo.
Doc Laza returns for 31 months. Welcome back.
Library rules rule. Yeah.
Yeah. Follow the library rules.
Shout those library rules. Wait, no.
Please follow the library rules.
And people coming in with those bit snipes. Pharaohbender, 27. Demon Fire. Gap Filler. Temporally Awry. Coming in with that subscription after we're already...
Tiny bit late.
After we're already past that part. That's okay.
They subscribed with Prime, which we're getting right to the very end of November here, but if you have a Amazon Prime subscription, it means you have a Twitch Prime subscription, and if you haven't spent it anywhere yet, you can spend it here. You can spend it on any other channel on Twitch if you want to. You can use it here, though. You can also go to some of the people who home stream and just give them a free sub if you're already subbed here for the month, because, hey, why not? Spend those business bucks.
The important thing, though, is don't let it go to waste.
Yeah.
Use it somewhere.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your Jeff Bezos is just laughing at you.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's like, oh, thank you. Thank you for your money.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We will see all y'all later.
Bye.
And Richard Ehrman getting out in the last second there.
Bring us to an even 50.
Perfect.